you sign transaction with this private key. That is like the regular flow we all know. We with this account abstraction solution uh, uh, have a second type of account, which is a smart contract account, which the main difference instead of having, well, the main difference is the account is a smart contract. Um, the funds of your account is in that smart contract. That gives you flexibility in case someone loses his account, the fund stays in the account. So in the previous example, we saw that the standalone account was the ownership of that account was the keeper. In this case, the smart contract account has a controller that tell to the smart contract account to send transaction to the blockchain. So this controller is who control the what we call Vectis account. So the controller account is like the standalone account. It has a private key and public key. It's signed transaction to the blockchain, so the Vectis account verifies the transaction is valid and propagate the transaction through the Vectis account. That is like the flow of a smart contract account. We introduced plugin in our smart contract account. The flow is slightly similar, but it changes a little bit. So instead of trigger the transaction by the controller account, we have the plugin, which is who trigger the transaction through the Vectis account. That plugin could be triggered by any third-party integration. This could be like a Web2 bot, or it could be another contract. Like it could be anything. Yeah, so that will be the flow, which is similar to the controller. So, but in this case, the plugin is to trigger the transaction to for the Vectis account. So, in short, plugins are the smart contract that allows you to extend functionality over your Vectis account. We have some official plugin. One of them is a big identity plugin. This plugin, I will go into detail later, is a query plugin that allows you to store a CK public key in that plugin. So that allows to, with a verifier, we have another platform called Avida. It's a framework that allows you to verify identity on chain. So this plugin allows to upload the public key to the plugin. The verifier check that generating a proof. The public key could check that person without revealing any other information. It's valid. We have another plugin. We are excited about that. Is the Chromecast integration we call ChromeKitty. Mike is here. Is one of the creators of Chromecast. Chromecast is a automation infrastructure that allows you to like Chrome job to trigger something at some point in the future, like trigger to run that action in the future. We will look into that later. What is that? Okay, so one of the next plugin could be spending limit. So a plugin could be something that check if you spend some kind of amount and afford to spend more, like if you overpass that limit, it's afford to spend a certain money transaction. Also, bringing out C permission that it's regular. Bueno, your next idea, your next building. Um, so I'm explaining the different kind of plugins. We have like the execution one. The execution is just a plugin that triggers your trigger like execute a transaction through your Vectis account. This is like the most simple one. Um, there are like there are another one is pre-transaction plugin. It's like a guard, like it's verifies something before execute a transaction. So for example, in the example of spending limit, it checked that you didn't spend you didn't overpass the limit. If you overpass that limit, it's abort the transaction, so the transaction is not executed. We also have post-transaction plugin. This post-transaction plugin do a verification after do execution and verify that some condition has met. If it doesn't met the condition, abort the workflow of the transaction. So the execution is never executed. So it's abort from the end of the transaction. We also have query plugins. Query plugins are a kind of plugin that allows you to extend the story in your Vectis account. So in the sample of a beta identity plugin, we store a public key in the plugin. So we don't store that in the smart contract wallet. We have an additional contract, the plugin, that stores that information. So when a third-party contract wants to query that information, query us to a Vectis account, what is the key of that, search for the key of that contract, and it returns the address of the contract. So finally, could query the plugin to get the information you store in this plugin. Why build one? Okay, so the third point is generate profit. I think all we want to generate profit for our creation. So for me, that's the first point. So you could get revenue from your plugin. The strategy is like the one you want to have. Is like you could create your own business model. Like you could charge per transaction, you could charge per instantiation. That's depend on the way you want to develop your business. The second point is protocol extensibility. Like for example, in the case that I put with Chromecast and Chromekitty, we extend the functionality. For example, we added auto refill. So in Chromecast, you could run out of fees to trigger your task. In our plugin, we added a condition that allows you to refill Chromecast and keep executing your task. Another example is like in Chromekitty, the task is executed by your account instead of the other contract. So at the end, so the info sender will be your account. Last but not least is for your benefit. Like there is like for example, one example of plugins that you could benefit is like I could create a plugin that when I do a swap in Osmosis, it runs the quantity of the swap, and the rest go to another account for saving or for donation. It's for your own benefit or for the others. I want to mention we are already in this testnet. We are looking for partnership to deploy and integrate in protocol. For example, one of the benefits we want to give is our plugin registry. We have a channel of distribution among our Vectis users. So Vectis user could go to our dashboard and install the plugin. They have a list of plugins they can share. There are tags, so plugins are accessible to our user. Also, another benefit is security. Security not only for user, also for developer. We have a committee that verify every plugin we install in the registry, so we make sure that there is not something malicious in the registry. So another point is version. You could have different version of your plugin, your contract. You could attach metadata to the contract, like a contract schema, a description, etc. That is like related with the next point, that is user interface. We like developer could leverage on our infrastructure. They could benefit for our dashboard. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. They don't need to redo create a new UI or something. It's like they could use our UI. For example, from our UI and the version, we could detect if someone doesn't have the latest version of a plugin, and we could encourage our user to update the migration of their plugins.
Any questions to you, Dennis? Who you are?
I've been talking about the official one, but what about the non-official one? So we have a second way of install plugin. It's also help for development. You don't need to add your plugin to the registry to test it. So you could start any plugin by its code ID. So you could create your plugin, install your wallet by code ID, and you could test it. Also, for example, in the case I mentioned about for your own, like that could be the method to go. You don't need to put this in the public releases, so we can do. So we have this second method to install a plugin. Where to start? Okay, we create a plugin template which has all the necessary to start a contract and put your logic and start in your Vectis account. We also create a CLI that in case you want to develop in .NET in a local chain, you could deploy everything like the Vectis wallet, everything you need to run the whole infrastructure. Also, we added an extension lab because in the extension, we will see that later. You could synchronize your Vectis account. This synchronization go against our API, so we need to support the network. In case you want to synchronize a local chain where you are developing on, you could synchronize the account using this extension lab. Also, it has message builder. So you could execute message to your Vectis account through this extension lab. This is in local. We also have it in the dashboard for testnet. A contract loader in case that you want to upload a contract. Yeah, that is like the first part of the presentation. That is all the information, and I would like to make a demo of the how to install the plugin and a plugin running in an example at TikTok2, running with Chromecast, the Chromekitty plugin. Okay, here I'm connected with my external account, and I can see all the accounts I have created, all the Vectis accounts. These are smart control wallet. I have created with this controller, with the Javier external account. So I create one before. I will search for this one. This one also wasn't started. So when you click, you have access to the dashboard where you have all the information of the wallet, also the transaction. Here in the plugin section, you could see our plugins. We have available the Chromekitty one, and here you have the description of the plugin, the tags, the image. That is something you is the metadata I've been talking when you add the plugin to the plugin registry. We have this button. We are going to install the Chromekitty plugin. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go to this Chromekitty experience. This page basically is like it's a walkthrough of download the extension, create a Vectis account, install the Chromekitty. It's like a demo of how all these pieces work together. First, I'm going to synchronize my account is not here yet, so I'm going to synchronize the account. Okay, this one. So, as I was saying, it gives you a step of how to install extension, so you could verify after that, create the account, and it asks for installing from Chromekitty plugin, do the check, you have the plugin installed, and after that you could start the game. So the game is a smart contract, which have to like have a play method. That play method is like you should provide x, y point for your X or circle, and if you don't provide nothing, it's like they do randomly. For the user perspective, we are going to provide one. From Kitty is gonna try random to play, so it will put circle somewhere. So we create a new game. Okay, so create it. Now we can start playing. So, for example, okay, so I did a movement. So after that, we didn't create yet a task in Chromekitty. So we are going to create one task. in order to automate transaction to play by simulating to be the opponent. This is the tag. I don't know. Yeah, it's it's okay. So here we define the message we want to trigger. In this case, we put a stop on fail false because maybe we don't move and we don't want to abort the transaction. We in the auto refill property we put to stop after this amount. We don't want to because in Gronka, when you define a task, the stack is running, and in case you didn't say to stop on fail, it's running and it can drain your phone. So in this case, we set auto refill, but stop at this amount of refill. And we do the interval per 5 blocks. So each 5 block it try to trigger the task. Task. So just to be clear, we are interacting with the smart contract account. If you check here, is the contract executing this. Okay, so we configure our task. We will start to see transaction, and Compiti will play for us, simulating be our opponent. The transactions are made from the Vectis account. So we will after that we will go to the dashboard and check that the transaction is yeah, here for example, you see it? Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, God was with me. It's like, yeah, so we could check this later in the dashboard. So let me put again the standard account, and I want to access to the dashboard to show the transaction history. Yeah. So as you can see, we register the plugin. After that, we create the new game. We play and we create the completing task. So this execution is from the plugin, and after that we did refill in order to don't run out of phones. Yeah, sorry. That's it. So I don't know if you have any question. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Plugin text speaker is not seen over development.
No.
Are you gonna finish the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you don't need to change that.
It like config is like fine. So like we do the check top hash, right? If the thing is repeating us, it's like something that we expect.
It's
Yeah.
still.
But also it also does the accounting of like
Yeah.
I mean, if it is not his turn, it's not gonna play.
You go to my kids.
No, he asks. No, he asks. None of the no.
So the other player is plugging.
The other player is one cat calling the plugin, calling your own wallet. Calling.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna win.
yeah.
Come on.
I mean, you
Do
move
it
first.
before you proceed with us.
Okay, thank you.